Welcome to Prestige Worldwide, the podcast, a weekly battle of wits, debating everything from horseshoes to hand grenades, all for the privilege to be called right. And now, your hosts, Bobo and Travis.
Hey guys, welcome to Prestige Worldwide, the podcast. I'm Travis. With me always is Bobo.
Heyo.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, living the fucking dream.
I need to start off this week's episode with an apology. I have let down our listeners, at least 8 of them, and I am sorry about that.
What did you do?
I once again forgot to play in the fantasy movie.
Did we not just have a whole conversation last week about this?
I have taken steps to fix this.
What?
I now have set an alarm.
I want to hear your action item plan.
Yes, my action items. I set an alarm for the same time every Thursday. I have also downloaded the Fantasy Movie League app and put it on my on my starting page on my phone as a
I think we have to. And I think the listeners should call in and have and write in and have some input on this. 747banging or PWThepodcast at gmail.com.
Okay.
Go ahead, and I think next season we have to have a punishment if Travis forgets.
No.
I don't know what it is. I think the listeners should have some input on it, though.
Listen, you can't punish me more than I punish myself for forgetting to do it. I really don't like forgetting. It just happens. And honestly, it's not even...
Got the old timers disease.
It's not even Friday that I remember. Like, it's usually Sunday. I don't even remember what it was this week that I was like, oh, wait, did I play Fantasy Movie League? And I said, shit, I forgot. So I immediately set an alarm for myself that will happen every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Great.
And now I have the Fantasy Movie League app. So again, that will remind me. I see it every day now. So I'm hoping that this ends this, because this has been by far the worst season I've ever had with forgetting to play.
Yeah, and it's also been the season where we've talked about it the most, which is so ironic. I
guess, man. I don't know. I get to Thursday and I see the weekend on the horizon, and I don't give a shit about anything. And I'm just trying to get there. Like, I'm just trying to move through my life and get to the weekend.
You're just trying to get to, hey man, we're looking forward to the weekend.
That's right. So
you and Carl Welzine are just,
And so again, I apologize to our listeners. I did not play this week. So, but let's get to who actually played, because congratulations, Bobo. You won.
What's up?
You won this week.
I did what?
You were number one this week.
Say that into my good ear, please.
By the slimmest of margins, you squeaked out a win only because I decided not to play.
I won by $6 million. I didn't squeak out a win.
Well, it's only because I didn't play. Had I remembered to play, then I would assume that you would have lost and I would have won
from the back.
So yeah, Bobo came in first. Frank came in second.
So yeah, Frank came in second. Family Fun Time came in third.
Yep.
Dirt came in fourth. Tim came in fifth. Bobo came in sixth.
Andy came in sixth. Big Red
seventh. Andrice came in eighth. I don't know if Andrice didn't play.
I don't think Andrice played.
Hey, Andrice, I know who you are. You're fucking Travis's alter ego.
Well, all the evidence does point to that. Yeah, I
figured it out. Andrice is a fucking lazy sack of shit.
I mean, that's a heady play to just dive bomb your last week.
Good job, buddy.
But yeah, I don't think he played, and obviously I didn't play. And you know what? You know who I forgot about? That's quote unquote in our league. Second Breakfast, who we have no idea who it is. However, they decided to join and never play.
I want to know who second. As soon as I figure out who Andres is, I'm moving on to that person.
But that means this season is over and we have a clear winner. Shall we listen to our voicemail?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, this is Derp to Derp, 3-time king of Movie League. Yeah, celebrating my win yet again over all you dweebs. We'll call out Family Fun Time. Good try there with 3 wins. Very small loss, 178K behind me. And Travis, just got to play a little harder. You did have 2 wins, but I think you forgot to play 3 or 4 times. That's unacceptable. Would like to call out some more people to play this game too. We only have like 7.5 people, I think, counting Travis. So a few more people would make it a little more exciting, a little more challenging. Come on, people, sign up.
Yeah, sign up.
I agree, and I would like to take offense to the half a person playing, but I really can't. And you're right. There was 3 times I forgot to play this week or this season.
It was, and he good on him for calling you out. I want to talk about that voicemail a little bit because as soon as Dirt left that voicemail, he started texting our number.
Oh, he did?
Well, texting me.
Oh, okay.
And saying that he felt very uncomfortable about the voicemail he had just left us because he used the word dweeb in it.
Dweeb? That's where he felt uncomfortable?
He was not confident in that voicemail at all. He's like, I don't think I can ever call in again. It was so bad. It wasn't that bad.
No, it was, the voicemail was fine. The quality was terrible. Maybe you could do it next to an open window next time and get a little less noise. I don't know if he was driving home or what, but something happened.
Yeah, I don't know. It was something happened there. I don't know.
But yeah. But anyways, thank you for leaving a voicemail, and we bow down to you, Derp to Derp, as our league champion. Bobo,
yes.
nor Bobo and I have yet to win this at all, and we were playing for a year before.
But at least I play every week.
That is true, and maybe,
you don't even get the participation award, Travis.
Maybe if I played every week, I could. No, it's still not going to happen for me. But Derp to Derp came in first. Family Fun Time came in second. Big Red came in third. Bobo came in a distant fourth. Frank came in fifth. Andy came in sixth. Andres came in seventh. Tim came in eighth. And obviously I came in last because I was way behind. But
yeah, you were.
But the good news is that was the end of the spring season and we're on to the summer season.
We're on to a new season, so if you've been waiting to sign up to play in a new season, now's the fucking time. Go to fantasymovieleague.com. The league is Prestige Worldwide, the podcast, and the password is Travis Bobo, all one word, all lowercase.
Yep.
If you forget that stuff, it's in the episode descriptions on Facebook.
I would love. I'm with Family Fun or with Derp to Derp on this one. I would love to get more people and actually get this a little bit more competitive. Maybe we can have a new winner. Maybe. I don't know.
Let's hope, right?
Well, listen. As long as it's not you, I don't give a shit.
You can suck my dick. It's gonna be me.
Well, I don't know how to transition to this story. But I told Bobo before we started recording that I had a story that I wanted to share with him, and there are certain times in life that things happen to me like during the week, and I think, you know what, this is probably good for the podcast because it shows either a little glimpse into my life or of how maybe shitty it is or just how the funny things that happen to me. So I have a small leak in one of my tires in my car.
Okay.
So Saturday, the light came on in the car, and I said, okay, I'm going to go over and get it filled up. So I went to a local gas station and was filling up my tires, and some dude drove up behind me and rolled down his window and goes, "Hey, man, crack kills." And
what?
He said crack kills. Apparently, my pants were coming down a little bit as I was bending over to fill my tires. And I just turned to him. I was like, cool. and I hear him and his wife laughing in the car. So I just turned, I was like, dude, eat shit.
What the fuck? What is wrong with people?
So I was like, what? Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So he drove away, but he drove to like the exit of this gas station. And I look over and he gives me a thumbs up. So I flip him off and I yell, hey, fuck off. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
I have no idea. That's fucking weird.
Like, did you think that I was gonna be like, yeah, good joke there, man. That was a good one. You really got me good on that one.
Yeah, got you good, you fuckers.
Yeah, and he was kind of a fat older guy, and I was just like, wow, what the fuck? But that's
weird. I don't understand that at all. Like, who the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, that's all you got to do with your life. That's what you have.
Because he clearly saw an opportunity. He clearly was driving. Maybe he was getting gas. I don't know. I didn't notice him before he started talking to me. So he clearly saw an opportunity and said, I'm going to pull up to that guy. So he pulled up and he shouted whatever he was going to say. And apparently his wife thought it was hilarious.
Well, his wife is a fucking idiot.
But yeah.
No class asshole.
I
hope they have fun eating their Hungry Man dinners together later.
I was perplexed that
how many times in your life or in her life do you think she's sobbed into a lean cuisine because her husband said something mean to her?
Oh, plenty.
I bet you over under's a dozen. I'm taking the fucking over.
But I look at I look at them driving away, and him saying to himself or saying to his wife, "Boy, that's not how I saw that going." I think he took offense to that.
Do you think that his favorite comedian is Larry the Cable Guy or Jeff Foxworthy?
Ron White. Ron White is
dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Ron White's the worst. You know why? Unlike Larry the Cable Guy and Jeff Foxworthy, who look like rednecks and tell redneck jokes,
right?
Ron White looks like a normal classy dude drinking scotch.
Right.
But then he's a fucking redneck underneath. What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
He reels you into his show. He's like, hey, I'm like a normal cool looking guy, man. I'm drinking scotch like, I'm fucking, like some cool bro at a lounge singer at a club. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, he's a fucking redneck comedian. What the fuck is up with that?
Yeah, you're a redneck comedian playing to the lowest common denominator.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about those comedians too. I really don't like them. I mean, Jeff Foxworthy, whatever. He wasn't terrible, but I find nothing funny about Larry the Cable Guy or Ron White.
The thing about Jeff Foxworthy that is, I guess, redeemable is he was the first one.
Yes, that's probably why I don't.
If you're the first one to make fun of rednecks and you're a redneck, like, it's okay. But after that, it's just piling on and it's fucking stupid.
Well, and Larry the Cable Guy I forget what his actual name is, but it's not even Larry.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he's not even, that is not even who he is. I forget, and he came probably from like not a redneck area.
I think he's actually born like a wealthy upper middle class family. I think.
And you know what? So I guess good on him for finding a niche market and just running with it. Because from what I understand, he's really rich.
He is. He's very rich.
Yeah. So good for him, I suppose.
Speaking of comedians, before we get into this week's episode,
okay,
I want to talk about, have you watched or heard about the historical roasts on Netflix?
I started watching it.
Oh, how many episodes are you?
2. I went.
Okay, let's talk about it next week after you've watched the third one.
I don't think I'm going to.
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay.
You
does it get
make
better?
It a point.
Because it's not good.
Okay, well, we might disagree on these then. I think the third one, the one about Anne Frank,
I'll check it out. But I'll tell you,
is the funniest thing I've seen in like a decade.
I'll check it out. But we watched the first 2, and don't get me. Let me just preface this with: I love Jeff Fox. I love the roast. I think they're always funny. for the when there's actual comedians doing the roasting. But and I love a lot of the comedians that are on this historic one. But God, those first two were terrible.
I thought the second one was actually pretty funny. So
I turned to Mandy and I because we were searching for something to watch, and I was looking through, and I said, well, let's check this out. Actually, Mandy was the one. I was like, let's check this out. After the second one, I said, are we done here? She was, yeah, we can watch anything else. Yeah.
Oh, Ann and I watched them together. We liked them.
I just didn't think they were that funny. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There was some good points or some good parts in it, but it was not on the level of like a Bumpin' Mike's. Or, the Bumpin' Mike's was...
I wouldn't say it's as funny as Bumpin' Mike's. Absolutely not.
Right,
no.
Yes. It's vastly superior. Or the Bumpin' Mike's is vastly superior to...
Except for the Anne Frank episode is really fun.
All right, I'll check out the Anne Frank and we can talk about it. I will report next week.
Let me tell you why. I won't spoil anything.
Okay.
But Hitler is in it.
Yeah, I love this premise.
Played by Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, I did see that in the previews. And yes, okay, I would like to actually go... I think we've talked about this. I'd like to see Gilbert Gottfried live, but
yeah, me too.
Okay, I will check this out. I like the premise, and I liked all the premise, and in fact, I was pretty excited to see what Nikki Glaser would do with Kurt Cobain in the second episode, and it seemed like she even was ramping up. She was like, "Okay, we're gonna get into this now," and they cut out a lot of. They must have cut out a lot because whatever she said after that was not funny or biting. Like, what? I was confused.
So speaking of Kurt Cobain, which is the other reason I wanted to bring this up. Remember when we had the original First Wives Club episode? And the reason we did it was we were certain that Ann didn't know anything about pop culture.
Yeah.
Ann did not know who Kurt Cobain was.
Really?
No, it gets worse, Travis. So I'm saying, oh, it's Kurt Cobain. Ann goes, who is that? And I said, Kurt Cobain, like the famous guitar player, singer, Nirvana. Who's Nirvana?
Oh, she didn't know who Nirvana was.
No.
Wow. Well,
Travis.
I know. I know that's bad.
That's bad.
I know. I agree it's bad, but if that's not your scene at all.
Kurt Cobain's death was like a hugely widely known. I mean, that's not something that just random, like people just in the music industry knew about.
Maybe.
Especially being a child of like that generation.
How much, is she younger than you, or are you guys the same age?
We're the exact same age.
Okay. Cause like Mandy honestly, Mandy would know who Kurt Cobain is, and she knows her.
Ann is 6 years older than her.
Oh, is she really? No, she's not. No, she's not. That would put you in, no, she's not. That would put you in my age range.
Okay, well then she's like 4 years older than me.
Yeah, like Mandy, like would listen. I'm not Mandy. I don't know if I think one night I had to play a Nirvana song for Mandy.
But does she know the band Nirvana exists?
She heard the name. Boy, I would like to. I wish. Are
they really not like that? I thought Nirvana was just as popular as bands like Queen and Guns N' Roses and bands that every single person on earth fucking knows. Are we wrong?
We're not wrong. If you know rock and roll, you know Nirvana. But the problem is, people like Mandy and I'm guessing Ann as well when they grew up, they hit the boy band part and never ventured out of pop music like that. So that's what they know.
Well, Ann doesn't know any of that stuff. That's not why Ann doesn't know it.
Oh.
So
that's why Mandy doesn't know it. But wow, yeah, I'm shocked, but you know what? I shouldn't be, because I'm pretty sure Mandy is kind of in the same boat.
So also after that, they make a joke about Dave Grohl getting his own band.
Right.
And Ann said, "Who's Dave Grohl?"
That doesn't surprise me. If she doesn't,
and then I said, and the singer of Foo Fighters, she said, "Who are the Foo Fighters?"
Oh yeah. No, again, if you don't know Nirvana, if you don't know Nirvana, but you know Foo Fighters, you've gone wrong somewhere in your life.
I mean, I don't know. At this point in time, if you're just getting into music, I can understand. If you like casually listen to music and you know Foo Fighters songs and don't really know Nirvana songs, that's forgivable, I think.
I guess it's, yes, I guess.
Because they're more recent.
Yeah, no, that's true. You got a good point there. I just think, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where to go from that, but that's, I'm not shocked. But she knew who David Bowie was, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, so how many? I wonder how many shows. I'd love to just sit down and talk with Mandy and Ann and see how many jokes went over their heads.
So that was my thought was now I'm getting further into understanding where in pop culture Ann is deficient, and we need to do another First Wives episode where we can really make them look like morons. Because what's the point of being married if you can't make your wife look like an idiot, right?
That's true. I mean,
I'm a great husband, by the way. I am husband of the year. In case anyone wants to know, I'm the best out there. You should have married me. So let's get in on the show. We can roast them again.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this off air because I am kind of intrigued by this premise. However,
yes, I am too.
I do feel like there needs to be if we're going to do this again, they need to have something where they can test us. Because I think there is parts in which we are deficient and we don't see it.
Probably.
So I think that is worth exploring. But that's for another episode. Let's get into today's episode.
Okay. This is a very simple premise. We like playing games here on Prestige Worldwide. We haven't done one in a while, though.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And this is a fun game for Travis. And for me, because I think this is just, I want to know people's opinions on this stuff because some of these are going to surprise you. The whole point of this week's game is we're going to guess, I'm going to name a movie to Travis, a random movie from any point in time, and he's going to guess if the Rotten Tomatoes approval rating is higher or lower than Donald Trump's current approval rating. That's it. That's this week's episode. It's really lowbrow. That's it.
I'm not going to say it's lowbrow, but it is. I think this is going to be difficult because
it is.
His current approval rating is what do we decide? It's 42%.
It's 42%. According to the Gallup poll released on April or May 15th, his current approval rating is 42%. So that is the over/under. So every movie I'm going to give you, Travis, the over/under is 42%.
Okay,
which is not a good movie. Not a complete garbage. I can't give you complete gutter trash movies, that are like, I can't give you Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Right. But let's get into this because I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued as to as to what we're going to find under 42%.
Okay. So let's start. I have a whole list of movies here, Travis. Okay. I have like 20 movies. And if you want to pick some that you're not sure about, let me know. I'll type them in. We'll guess.
Okay.
Because I just picked a bunch of random movies from all points in time. And if you have other ones you're not sure about, we could throw those in. It'll be a great time.
All right.
Now, obviously, people, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm not going to start naming movies like fucking Star Wars.
Right.
We know they're above 50%. I can't name movies that are obviously well beloved in Hollywood.
Right.
The Lion King will not appear on this list. Don't get mad when I don't ask about Lion King or about the original animated Aladdin or whatever. Like, that's not the point of this week's fucking episode.
Right. Yeah. It can't be easy to you want to make it a little difficult. So let's start this off.
How about the 1989 classic starring the now deceased Patrick Swayze, Roadhouse?
Roadhouse.
It's a pretty popular movie.
It is it is a pretty popular movie. I'm still going to go with under 42%.
You are correct. The Rotten Tomato meter is at 38% for this movie.
38%. Okay. All right.
The audience score is 66%. So the audiences love it a lot more than the critics did. But we're not going by the audience. We're going by the critics because people are sheep and you can't trust them.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, I love this game. I absolutely love this game.
Yeah, I do too. Another one, Travis. So I can't put Back to the Future on this list because we know it's a timeless Hollywood classic.
Right.
But what about Back to the Future Part 2? Which is pretty much known as the worst of the 3 Back to the Future movies.
Okay.
It is my favorite, but that doesn't mean that it's Hollywood's favorite.
That's your favorite one, huh?
Yes, I love Part 2.
No, wait a minute. Is Part 2 regarded as the worst one? Because I always thought maybe the third one was regarded as...
No, I think Part 2 is.
Okay, because
Yeah, it's Part 2.
Part 2... I like Part 2, but it... I think that one gives me like the most anxiety when it comes to those movies. I don't know why, but for some reason, I always remember like just being super anxious watching that movie.
There's a lot of moving parts in that movie. A lot of action, a lot of intrigue.
I'm still going to go with, it is above 42%.
It is. It's 65%.
It is
over.
65. Okay. All right.
Which is not, 65 is fresh, but barely.
Is that the lowest of all of the Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Not, 3 is close, but it's higher.
Okay.
The audience score is 85%, if people want to know. So audiences obviously love that movie too. All right. Here's another tough one. The 1990 classic starring John C. Reilly with an appearance by Tom Cruise, Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. This one is...
I'd like to point out this has, for its time, one of the strongest casts ever.
Wasn't
It's got Robert Duvall, it's got Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, Carrie Hughes, Michael Rooker, John C. Reilly. It is stacked.
Yeah. I think this is under 42%.
Final answer?
Yes, that is my final answer.
You are correct. 39%. Very close
Wow.
on this one.
Wow. All right. So I am 3 for 3 so far.
Yep. Audience score is only 60%.
All right.
All right. Moving on. I would have guessed over on Days of Thunder because of Tom Cruise. I would have gotten slipped up on that one. Not gonna lie.
I feel like that was, yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know why. I feel like it was under, but I feel like that. I feel okay. Let me put this in a different way. I think what Talladega Nights helped Days of Thunder. Had there not been a Talladega Nights making fun of it, and showing how ridiculous Days of Thunder was, or the ridiculousness of the Days of Thunder, I don't think people would have liked Days of Thunder as much. Does that make sense?
I mean, it came out 17 years later.
Yeah, I know, but
actually. Yeah,
but I don't know what the aggregate of the audience score is. You know, how Rotten Tomatoes does that at this point.
I don't either.
For older movies.
I think it's based on like projections when it's in the theater, people talking about it. I don't know though.
Maybe, I don't know, but that's just how I came to my conclusion. So, all right, next movie.
All right, so I can't put the original Bill and Ted on this list because the first one was a pretty well-known classic. But what about Bill and Ted 2, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Bogus Journey. Ooh.
I thought this would be a tough one for you.
This is a tough one. I'm still going to go with under. I do not feel like this was a very critically acclaimed movie. So I'm going under 40.
What would ever give you that thought?
I mean, has anybody let's just put this out there. Has any actor other than maybe who's Robert Downey Jr., but has any actor really made a comeback? I don't know. Can you say Keanu Reeves is a comeback, or has he just had a steady career?
No. I would say artistically, no actor has gotten better than Keanu Reeves in the second act.
Okay.
He was a punchline. Let's be honest.
Oh,
when
yes.
Speed came out and Bill and Ted, and he was a punchline of an actor.
I actually never minded him. I don't understand. Like, I never really understood like the hate for him for his acting. I always thought he was. I thought he would put out some clunkers, but I thought the movies were great. The Matrix series were well. I shouldn't say the Matrix series. The first Matrix was awesome.
Right, but then the second and the third one were very good. He got made fun of a lot for being like in the whole movie just going like, huh? What? I know Kung Fu?
Yeah,
I'm
I
the
guess.
chosen one? So people made fun of that whole persona about him. But in the since John Wick has come out, let me tell you, he's become like the coolest of the cool.
Yep. And I hope he drives that straight into the ground.
Have you seen John Wick 3?
Not yet. But
I saw it. Don't go see it.
Ride that as long as you can.
Well, I think it's coming to a close soon.
Well, there's already a fourth one in the works.
Yeah, but I think this is I guarantee it. We'll talk about when it comes out in a future summer blockbuster episode at some point in the future.
Yeah.
But John Wick 4 will not do as well as John Wick 3. John Wick 3 is the top of the mountain.
All right.
Just saying.
Okay.
You don't go in the theaters. Just watch it at home. Anyways. So, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. You're going the under.
I am going the under.
It is over 54%.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
The audience score 56%, which is completely wrong. The critics are also wrong. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is almost, if not better, than Excellent Adventure.
It has been so long since I've watched either one of those. I don't. Those are not like my movies. Those are not. I don't have like a fondness for those like I think you do.
I love Bill and Ted.
Yeah, I never grabbed. It never. I don't know. It never grabbed me like that.
That's so weird. I would think it would because it's about playing music and being in a band.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just never. It never did.
Interesting.
All right, next one.
Well, maybe these movies grabbed you. I mentioned Carrie Hughes earlier in Days of Thunder.
Uh-huh.
I can't put movies like The Princess Bride on this list because they're beloved classics. Everyone loves Princess Bride.
Right.
But what about his 1993 hit, Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Now this one I loved.
All right, now we're speaking our language.
I did love Robin Hood Men in Tights. The gags in it were just. I'd say the one that really got me was the blind guy reading the Playboy. Reading the Playboy in Braille.
Yeah, Blinken. Yep.
Yeah, that was great.
Hey, Blinken. Remember that's his name.
I didn't remember that. But Robin Hood Men in Tights, is it above or below 42%? I want to say. I'm going to say below.
Okay. Well, you would be wrong because it actually is 42%.
Oh, you can't do that. I'm not wrong.
I tricked you, motherfucker.
I was going to ask you at the beginning of this, do you have any movies that are actually 42% because that would be dumb? And
That's the only one.
And I thought, no, Bobo wouldn't do that.
Yes, I would. I'm a dick.
So number 5 is a push.
The audience score is 81%, though, which that's about where I feel. I think Robin Hood Men in Tights is great.
I'd like to go back and watch that movie.
Some of the gags don't hold up, but some do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Speaking of 1993.
Oh, my God.
Robin Hood Men in Tights might have been a great movie that was released in 1993, but it probably wasn't the best movie released in 1993.
Okay.
That belongs to the classic, the third movie in the trilogy, Army of Darkness.
Ooh. Wow. Army of Darkness. I am going to go. First off, I'd also like to take a second, since you're talking about movies that are 24 years old, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If there are people in our audience, I'd like to know if there are movies on this list that you don't know, that you may have heard of, but you just have no reference of them. Because
I tried to pick popular movies because I felt like that would be an issue. Unfortunately, critics nowadays are much more polarized than they were back then. It's very hard now to find a movie that's like at 40, 50%.
Gotcha. I will say
most movies now are like at 10% or 90%, honestly.
I think Robin Hood Men in Tights is probably a deep pull. I don't know how.
You think so?
I do. I definitely do.
Dude, that sucks because I'm telling, man, God, that's from the most brilliant comedic mind of all time, in my opinion.
I don't disagree.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The fact that you think that's a deep pull is just, Mel Brooks, it saddens me so much.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. I mean, I honestly think, I don't know if Spaceballs is on your list, but
No.
I think that would be a hard one. Because we're talking about critics here. Oh, easy there, buddy.
Sorry. I'm good.
Need to get you a cough button.
That's right.
I think Spaceballs would be a tough one, but
No, Spaceballs was much higher.
really was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Army of Darkness. I think it is low. I think it's lower than 42%.
Okay. You are wrong.
Oh my God.
This is the biggest surprise I think of all the ones I have. It's 72%.
Oh shit. You know what? I do oh fuck. I fucked up because when you first mentioned it, I was like, oh, I'm going to go high. You would think it'd be low, but I'm going to go high because I'm pretty sure the critics did like this movie, but I fucked up. Anyways, yes, you're right.
Well, the critics had good, they saw the audience score 87%. People, and this movie is fucking fantastic.
It is. It's a great movie. It's by far the best of the Evil Dead series.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was the first one that had a big budget. I mean,
right.
Yeah, it's great. Okay. Moving on. So, mentioning deep pulls. This might be a deep pull. Back when we were younger, there was a lot of controversy on this movie because it was a very expensive flop.
Okay.
One of the biggest expensive flops of all. If I mention the most costly Hollywood blockbuster flops of all time,
do you want me
historically,
to guess?
what comes to mind, Travis?
Waterworld?
That's it.
Okay.
Waterworld, first one. Kevin Costner. Yep.
All right. And we're going with the critics.
Yes.
See, this one's tricky because I don't have an instinct on this one. But so what I'm thinking is you put this on list because it was such a flop, you got to think it's low. So do I want to go high? I'm going to go high. It's higher than 42%.
You are correct. It's 44%.
Okay. That's kind of...
Yep. I wanted to know if you see through that. The audience score is 43%, so actually they agree with the critics, basically.
I honestly, I saw the movie. Didn't think it was that bad. It's fine.
A lot of people, that's why it's 44%. It was, some people thought it was just okay. It wasn't as terrible as everyone remembers it being historically because it was such a flop at the box office.
Right.
But it's not a great movie. But it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. They spent a lot
Some movies are just average.
They spent a lot of money to make a good movie or make an okay movie.
Right. You know, they could have probably gotten more bang for the buck on another movie, but it's not the worst movie ever made.
No. Not at all.
Okay. Well then, moving on.
Okay.
How about Bad Boys?
Oh. This is an ongoing discussion, I believe, on this podcast because Bad Boys 2 is by far better than Bad Boys 1.
Yes.
And is it my first thought, it's below. It's below 42%. That's what I'm going to go with.
You are correct. 41%.
Okay. Oh, not much though.
Just below.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
close. Very close. Audience score, 78%. So.
I mean, yeah, it's a good movie.
It's okay.
It's okay.
The second one's much better.
It is.
I tried to pick movies that were very big names. So don't get, Waterworld was the first one where I thought you might see through the bullshit. The other ones after this, though, aren't going to be like that, just so you know.
Okay, that's fine.
But I tried to pick very popular movies that were very divisive. Bad Boys is one of them.
It's funny because I was just thinking about Bad Boys 2 today because I was listening to something where they were talking about Gabrielle Union is now a judge on America's Got Talent.
Okay.
And I was trying to think of like how you could describe who she is, and the first thing that comes to mind is Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, basically.
Because I honestly I don't really know any of her other movies, but
me either.
Yeah, she was great in it.
So another one. This was a big movie that was very divisive when it came out back in the late 90s. The Cable Guy, starring Jim Carrey.
Ooh, I saw this in theaters.
Co-starring Matthew Broderick.
Yep.
This is a
one.
tough one.
If you know anything about this movie, it would have been a completely different movie if Chris Farley would have actually been around to take over the role instead of Jim Carrey.
Agreed.
Yes, that would have been. I don't know. It would have been weird to kind of see that. But
Do you know who directed this movie?
Was this Ben Stiller's first one?
Yes, which is amazing. They gave Ben Stiller that much money for his first movie.
Yeah, that's true. And it wasn't. I was not a big fan of this movie. I'll be honest with you. But
It has its moments.
yeah, it was a little too dark for me at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't think my. I don't think.
But was it too dark for the critics?
Let's see. Above and below 42%. I want to say it was above.
You're correct. 53%.
Yeah, I feel like it was a critics movie. You know how we make fun of, Oscar movies and everybody loving those types of movies. I feel like this was one of them.
Okay.
Like, not great,
Okay.
but maybe boosted a little bit.
Let's move on to another 90s classic that we probably all saw on a date in high school if you're that old. Cruel Intentions.
I have never seen this movie.
Really?
No.
But you know of it.
I do know of it. I know of it. It's low. It's lower than 42%.
You are wrong. It's higher. 54%.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised by that. That's why it's on the list.
Wow. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm surprised you haven't seen it, though. That's amazing.
No.
Okay. So let's go on to some other ones. How about this is a new movie. It is the movie sequel to a famous TV show, Entourage. The movie.
All right, that one took me a second, but yeah. All right. Oh God. I feel like this is another one where you're baiting me into it. Because it's Entourage. And while I love Entourage, and I
love the TV show. I loved it.
I didn't think the movie was that bad. I know you hate the movie. But
I hated the movie.
I didn't think it was that bad. And so therefore I feel like you're baiting me into an over. But my heart is or not even my heart. My mind is saying, my heart is saying over, but my mind is saying under. So I'm going under 42%.
You are correct. It's under 33%.
Okay.
Audience score 57%, so they're about mixed on it. So
yeah, I mean, again, I felt it was par for the TV show. I really didn't think it was any worse than the mindless, or not even mindless, but the regular TV show. That's where I landed on that one.
Okay, let's do 3 more. All right.
Okay.
So this one, how about The Hangover Part II?
Ooh, Hangover Part II.
I will be honest. I wanted to pick just a random movie that was more recent.
Yeah.
And I stumbled on this one, and I was like, oh, let's use this one.
Okay. So
no thought into it.
I have no idea. On this one, I have no idea. Because this is, I feel like the critics hate comedies.
Yes, typically.
And now, and I don't think, I'm wondering, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm kind of wondering, but I feel like critics have gotten harsher on comedies than
with the exception of Deadpool.
With the exception of Deadpool, yes. Well, that's a comedy, but it's a legit great movie. I'm still gonna go with the under 42% on Hangover Part 2.
You are correct, 33%. And the audience score is only 52%. That surprised me because I thought this movie was pretty popular, and I thought it was fucking hysterical.
I've never seen it. I stopped at The Hangover and never went on to the sequels.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I also have a thing about comedies. I really like comedies, and I want to watch them. But there are some that if I feel iffy on, if I feel like it's not going to be a really good comedy, then I want to try to wait and watch it in a group of people. And when do we really ever get together and watch movies anymore?
Well, maybe we should do that for a movie night.
I agree.
If you haven't
I
seen
agree.
it.
Oh, no. If we're going to do a comedy, I still have yet to see it, but we're going to do Super Troopers 2. Because
I should have put that on the list then.
Because I really want to watch that, but I really kind of want to watch it in a group.
Okay, fair enough.
But all right, next
All
one.
right, two more. My two favorite movies to talk about. Number one, the second best movie ever made, Hot Rod.
Hot Rod. Ooh. Because Hot Rod became kind of a cult classic, and it didn't do well in the theaters from what I remember.
Didn't do great.
I'm going to go with under 42%.
You're correct, 39%.
Okay. Yeah.
The audience score is 64%, so it's better than, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great comedy.
I mean, it's the second best movie ever made.
I mean, I understand why they wouldn't. There's some weird humor in it, but overall, I do believe it is a great movie.
Well, and let's talk about the best movie ever made, in Bobo's opinion, which is also fact. Step Brothers.
All right. I guess we couldn't have gotten away from that, seeing that it is our namesake.
Correct.
Step Brothers. Well, okay. I feel like if I remember correctly, this was kind of in the heyday of Will Ferrell. When Will Ferrell,
it was back when he was more popular than he is now.
Right.
Absolutely.
He really couldn't. He could do no wrong. So let me think here. 42%. Man, I really want it to be over, but I'm really leaning towards under. I'm going to go under.
It is over 55%.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
I mean, I'm not surprised, actually.
I thought the critics hated it, honestly.
I did too. But I will say that Step Brothers is one of the few comedies that, while they do load up the movie with a lot of jokes, the plot doesn't hurt or doesn't hurt because of just putting out jokes. Like, for example, Anchorman. Anchorman is a really good movie. However, that movie is front loaded with jokes, and then they try to tie it up at the end, and it kind of isn't as funny at the end because they're trying to tie up this plot. Right? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because and you know, at some point you got to get back to the plot and actually finish the movie, or else you just get, you know, Watson and Holmes or Holmes and Watson. but Step Brothers, throughout the entire thing, I mean, even the ending is fucking hilarious. Yes, but that movie is fucking brilliant. I mean, it really is. It's a great movie. It is such a great best movie ever made, in my opinion. All right, let's move on to End Times. Okay, because this one I sent this to Travis a long time ago, over a week ago. Yeah. It was last week. And I was like, we have to talk about this next week because it's so fucking bad. It really is. Let me read the headline for the listeners, and we'll put the link to the article on the website. But this is the headline. This is 2019, by the way. This happened in 2019. A New York teacher made black students act as slaves in mock slave auctions. Oh my God. Yes. I can't believe this is still happening in 2019. And people think that this also happened in New York at a private school. Yes. So that is another aspect of this that is funny, because historically private schools are much better schools to send your kids to. Historically. However, I also didn't know that black kids went to those schools. Ooh, hot take. In New York State, I was like, really? Like, okay. So that's the part that I'm like, typically they're not very diverse. Right. I think this is a Catholic school. Right. Yeah. So they're trading racism for molestation. Right. Yeah. If you thought Catholics were bad, this will makes it worse. Yeah. Actually, I think it was Lutheran. I think it's Lutheran, not Catholic, but whatever. It's the same fucking thing. It is. Actually, you're right. I'm looking at a picture of the
I am too. Yeah, it's Lutheran. Whatever. So okay, they don't molest kids. Sorry about that. I got that one wrong. That's on me.
Listen, they may not molest kids, but Lutherans are.
They just make black people be slaves in mock slave auctions.
Let's not give them a full pass because Lutheran is pretty close to Catholics. There's just a couple differences, and it may be.
Yeah, they don't molest children. That's probably the only difference.
They may not touch the kids, but I'm sure they take pictures.
Well, I think they can get married, Lutheran ministers and priests. So.
Oh yeah. So
probably not. But anyways, let me read you the first sentence of the article. A New York teacher singled out African American students and cast them as slaves in a mock auction as part of a social studies lesson back in March. So what this teacher did was, in every class, she made all the African American students raise their hands, and that made them go stand in the hallway. And then she placed imaginary chains on their necks, wrists, and ankles, and then instructed them to go back in the classroom and line up against the wall where they didn't had a mock auction of auctioning off these children as slaves to white plantation owners.
You know what kids aren't great with? Empathy. So I feel like this is an exercise that is going to fall on some very deaf ears. I mean, I kind of understand what she's going for, but what makes you think you can get away with this? What makes you think that this is not going to get out?
I have no idea.
I mean, because also the thing about
what makes you think this is a good idea?
I honestly, wow. I was going to say, in black and white, this does seem like a good idea because if you, in doing this, you can show maybe kids like how it went, how it made real people feel, but at the expense of your students, you would do this. So I see kind of the good in this, but it is a terrible execution and a terrible way to go about this.
I don't even see the good in it. I think this is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. It's 2019. You can't line up black kids for a slave auction and auction them off to students in your classroom. You just can't do that. And if you don't know you can't do that, I don't know what to do for you.
Now, does it make it better in your eyes that she is nearing retirement?
They fired her.
Yeah, no, I know, but she was an older teacher.
No.
Okay, I'm just asking. Don't yell at me. But
I'm not yelling at you. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, Travis. I apologize.
But I mean, okay. Let me ask you another question. Would it made it okay if she would have put, say, Post-it notes underneath all of their chairs before they got into the classroom, and she said, "Okay, we're gonna do an exercise today. Grab under your chairs and pull out the Post-it note. So it's at random. So some kids,
no, a Post-it note means she knows where they sit. So she did it ahead of the fact. So it's premeditated. Had she shuffled a deck of cards?
Yes. Okay.
And passed them out?
Does that make it okay?
That's different.
It doesn't make it okay.
It definitely makes it okay as far as intent because she's not singling black people out to be black.
Yes, but I would like to know what the lesson is here.
I think it was just to depict what actually happened and being, I don't know why you need to depict it though. It's a slave auction.
Right.
You know how an auction works, right? You just explain how an auction works, but they did it with people. I get why they do things like mock trials in social studies.
Right.
And like mock governments. I get that. Mock slave auctions? I don't think that's necessary. Call me old fashioned.
What if, look, all right, I'm just spitballing here. What if this teacher had a side job as an auctioneer, and she was just trying to show off her skills as an auctioneer to these kids because she has no other aspect in her life where people give her praise?
I mean, then do it randomly.
So she
had the teacher just passed out cards and every single person had an equal chance of being picked as being a slave, and it had white kids, black kids, Asian kids, all of them being slaves and not being slaves. The lesson might have been a bad lesson. You don't get fired though for it.
I like the image in my head of her sitting at home trying to reverse engineer an instance where she could put her auctioneering skills to use. And this is the best she could come up with.
Right, yeah. I mean, how do I want to show them how good I am at going 100, 200, get 250, 250 plays, and get 3, got 325, 325, man in the back there. Sold!
And like,
how do I do that in the classroom? Oh, slaves.
And is she, I mean, obviously from some of the articles that we read about this, the black kids were distraught over this. To put it
yes,
mildly.
as they should be. And the best part, though, is apparently before this incident, parents had complained to the school about the school's lack of racial sensitivity and had concerns that the school didn't do enough to address them. Guess what? I guess those parents were right.
Yes, but back to the point I was trying to make. So these kids, presumably, I don't think it was the last class of her day that the kids were distraught in. So she probably saw this and was like, you know what? Still going to go with it.
Right. Yeah. It was all the classes. So it went terrible in one class. You're like, let's do that again.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because
what an idiot.
You might, and because of Anne's profession, you may have a little bit more insight about how teachers plan out their lessons. But do they hand their lesson plans in advance or after the?
Yes, but I don't think they had to be that detailed. Like, I'm going to pick all the black kids.
No, but you don't think the squares of this day just said mock auction? I
don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Because I would want to know that. Because if this slid across a principal or maybe a vice principal, because I'm sure that's probably their part of their purview. But if this slid across their desk and they were just like mock auction, cool. Like, do you question this? Do you?
True.
I
think that I don't think they fired the principal, but they should have.
Should they?
I don't know, man. If you hire someone who thinks this is a good idea, then I don't know how I can trust your judgment anymore.
If she has been fired and this was the first incidence of this and you didn't know,
apparently it wasn't, though, because parents have complained about the lack of racial sensitivity at the school.
It may not have been her, though. It may have been other people.
That's true. At least the school did the right thing and fired her right away. Like, no administrative leave, no, like, we'll see you in a little bit, like, time out. They just fucking said, you're an idiot, you're out of here.
Right.
So I'll give them the credit for that. They took no time at all to fire her. They heard about it right away and said, you're out.
I mean, come on. How could you not?
Travis, because a lot of schools don't.
Well, that's true.
That's why. Because a lot of times when your teachers dress up in blackface, guess what they do? Nothing. They just say, oh, it's a teachable moment. And they move on.
It's not, that's insane to me.
I agree. So at least this school did the right thing.
This world is insane. I just don't understand. I don't understand how things as cut and dry as racism is, and how there can be so much gray out there.
I just don't understand how you went to college to get a 4-year degree, so you're not mentally challenged. How do you think this is a smart idea as a teacher?
She went to college like 40 years ago.
Doesn't make you any less stupid, though. Maybe she's had a head injury since then.
Maybe, but it does. Listen, the colleges have gotten harder since 40 years ago.
I mean, they must have. I don't know, man. Because to think this is acceptable just says so many things about you as a person that are awful.
I will tell you right now. And now this was a number of years ago, but probably a good, because I was young, so it was probably, I will say at least 20 years ago. I was sitting at a table with a school teacher, and she mentioned about the colored kids in her class.
Oh,
yeah. Even then, though, I said, that's not cool. That's not.
Now, that's not necessarily as bad as saying the N-word, but
no, you're right. However, a teacher, an educated person who is in charge of educating others should know the difference in saying...
They should. And they've probably had lessons in it. They've had diversity training, sensitivity training. They definitely know not to say that.
Probably not that long ago. But even as a younger person knew, you probably shouldn't say that as a teacher.
Right.
So, so people are slipping through the cracks all the time.
Well, this one got booted out of the crack finally, so thank God.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude, but I saw this earlier, I was like, it's 2019, and we have teachers in the union. This wasn't even a southern state. This was New York. Yeah. This is a New York private school. This is as, left wing as it should get, right?
Yes.
Fancy private school education in a blue state.
That's true. That is true. This should become as sensitive as they should know what not to say.
Right. You tell me this is a backwards, poorly educated school in South Carolina, I might understand a little bit how a teacher like that falls through the cracks. I would at least understand that on some cultural level, maybe.
I guess. I don't know. I'm still, because we live in the northeastern region. And there was one time I was not too long ago that I was driving around, and there was a sign for school bus drivers. There was a person that they were, because there was a school bus in their driveway. They were a school bus driver, and there was like another like help wanted sign for school bus drivers, and they had a Confederate flag flying next to it. How does that person have a job?
I mean, they're just driving a bus, right?
It doesn't matter. They're driving a bus with kids. How do you have a job? You have a Confederate flag flying.
I don't think that to me is a tough issue on freedom of speech. Can't fire someone because they have a Confederate flag at their desk.
You can fire. You can fire them because they have a racist symbol. And
we have not determined that historically in the United States as a racist symbol. That's the problem.
Well, that is the problem, because it definitely is.
Well, we know what it really is, Travis. But like if you go to a court of law, they're not going to see it that way.
Yeah,
they never have. There's been plenty of rulings and stuff like that. The Confederate flag has not been held up as a racist symbol. I mean, that's just how it is.
Let's just end it with this: if somebody has a Confederate flag in their front yard on a pole, there's probably cause to fire them somewhere in their work history.
They're probably racist. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Right. I'm just saying that you can't, because you'll get in trouble legally if you do that.
Well, what I'm saying
however,
is, in their
ethically or morally, if you're flying a Confederate flag, go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, that's just how I feel about it. But I have to. I don't want to be that guy dying on the hill defending the right to fly the Confederate flag, because I don't want to do that, though.
Right? Yes. No. I understand.
Not a good look.
I understand what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. You can't, that is. However, what I would say is that person is fucked in the head, and I'm sure that they have other places where they can be fired, or other things they've done where they can be fired.
Just look a little bit like in their classroom when they're having the slave auction.
With the imaginary chains.
The number is 747 banging.
747-226-4464.
Go ahead and call in or email us at pwthepodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook or Instagram. It's pwthepodcast on all those websites, or Twitter. And let us know the most questionable thing that happened to you while you were in school. Were you part of a slave auction? Were you in some lesson in a classroom where your teacher did something and you were like, "Ooh, I don't think you should do that"?
You know what?
I want to hear about it.
You know, the saddest part for me, though, is I was trying to think back. Like, was there ever an instance where maybe I was in a slave auction when I was a kid? But what saddens me is there's a minute possibility that didn't make an impact on me. So therefore, it may have just happened, and it didn't make an impact.
Well, if I want to hear about people going to school and having a questionable incident in their upbringing, I want to hear about them. That's what I want to hear about. Call in, let us know, leave an email, whatever you want to do. I want to find out.
Okay. For the poll this week, do you have another movie on your list that we can put up?
Sure. I have some movies. So let's find a good one real quick. That maybe it's a very one I wanted to get to.
Okay.
But I couldn't, but it's relevant.
So if the listeners want to play along, go to pwthepodcast.com, and the movie is
Godzilla, King of Monsters, the new Godzilla movie.
Ooh, Ooh, okay. Godzilla King of Monsters is it.
Just came out. Over under of 42%. What do you think the critics think about it?
We'll find out next week because we'll review.
We'll review.
All right.
So go ahead and it's Prestige Worldwide, the podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever good podcasts are hosted, you can find us. Give us some 5-star reviews on iTunes and Google Play and all those places. We could use the support. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone you want to about us. We want to expand. Come join the Fantasy Movie League. More people, more prizes. Derp can't win every single fucking season. I won't stand for it. Because he's a fucking dweeb. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next Thursday.